Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kyra, and today I'm bringing to you 4 different one shadow looks. These are meant to help you learn, help you get out the door quickly, have these little tips and tricks in your back pocket so that when you just don't have the time or can't be bothered, you can still create a really beautiful eye look with one shadow. We're going to be trying a bunch of different kinds of shadows in this video. We're going to do a shadow stick, a cream shadow, an all matte one eyeshadow look, and this one right here, which is an all shimmer one shadow look. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it, and I will see you at the end. All right, let's get started with the first look. This is a look using a stick cream eyeshadow. This one happens to be the Laura Mercier Caviar stick in the shade Amethyst. It has a nice sheen that sits on top of the product, but it does have a little bit, if you look around the edges, a little bit of a deeper undertone to the product, which means when it blends out, it's going to look more like multiple shadows, which is exactly what you're looking for when these cream shadows from Laura Mercier set down. They are set. So the first tool I'm going to use today is this little angled eyeshadow brush. I think these are the Instapop, yes, crease brush from Real Techniques. And what I'm going to use this for is to sort of soften but not blend out the shadow in the crease. I want it to soften because it's going to look deeper and bring it up into the shape that I want before I actually go out and diffuse any product. And if you don't have a brush like this, a flat brush like this, just a flat eyeshadow brush, would work just as well. You've seen me do this with mattes where I place it on the lid and then I flick it up in the crease toward the end of my brow. I feel pretty happy with this general shape of the eye. So now what I'm going to do is go in with this little duo fiber brush. I'm just going right along the edge. I'm not trying to carry up any of the shadow any further up into the crease area, just to diffuse the edges so it looks soft. And again, you're going to start to see now that it's almost getting a rosy quality up here, and that's because it is, you know, diffusing the pigment and causing it to look like a different shadow even though it's all one shadow. And if you don't have a duo fiber brush like this one, you certainly can use any blending brush, but if you have one that's maybe verging on a little bit scratchy, that is what you're looking for. For the lower lash line, what I like to do is get the pointiest pencil brush that I have. This one also happens to be quite stiff or firm. I don't know, stiff seems naughty. And then I like to pick it up directly off of the stick with my brush. I'm going to start right on the very outer corner of my eye and just very lightly run this along the lower lash line, and then add just a little bit more to sort of the inner 2/3 of the lid, and then I just take my finger and press that down. I'm not trying to pick up any pigment or blend any pigment. I'm just pressing it down into place. I'm going to go ahead and do the other eye and then finish off the look and come back and we'll have a little chat before we move on to the second look. All right, we're back. This is the completed look. I did go ahead and add a brightening eyeliner to the waterline. When using a deeper color like this, I like to have that brightness on the lower inner rim. And then my current mascara is the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara. And then for lips, I lined Holy Grail MAC Whirl. Then I went in with this Nude Sticks Gel Color Lip Plus Cheek Balm in the shade Pulse. I really like this color. And then I highlighted the center of the lips with this Rimmel Stay Glossy in the shade Blushing Belgraves. I love the way this look turned out. This is something I absolutely would love and recommend for like a night out, for a wedding. Keep it very simple. Between the MAC Paint Pot and the Caviar stick, this is a bulletproof look. There's no amount of oil that's going to come through this look, no matter how much you sweat, dance, whatever you do. And so hopefully you enjoyed this look. Hopefully you learned something from this look, and I will see you very soon for the next one. Hi guys, welcome to day 2 of my favorite one shadow looks. Today we're going to create a matte eyeshadow look. And for that, I'm going to be using my Sephora Pro Editorial 2.0. I'm going to go with this Chartreuse matte right here, which is called Omen. I'm going to start out with just a flat shadow brush and pick up that shade. And I just like to lay down the color on the lid first. Make sure you get all the way down to the upper lash line so you don't have any gaps there. I think that's a pretty opaque application. So now I'm going to go ahead and create the shape of the eye. So I'm kind of just pulling this out for my eye shape with this pinched sort of fluffy brush. This is a good time now that I don't have any like additional pigment. I've gotten most of the pigment off my brush. I'm going to use this to blend that lid shade ever so slightly toward the inner corner. Like I said, I want this to be a little bit lighter than the rest of the lid, again to just give that illusion of depth. And that's kind of the name of the game when it comes to creating a matte one eyeshadow look, just playing with the opacity of where you apply your shadow. It's one of my favorite fluffy brushes. It's scratchy and it's cheap. It's the Morphe M504. So I'm just really going along the edge of the eyeshadow and I'm just barely touching the skin, like very much tickling the skin, or if you've heard me say it before, wet cat pressure. You can see that my eye skin, the skin on my eye and my crease and all of that is not moving because I'm just barely grazing the skin with this brush. Going back into the flat brush, I just want to make sure that I didn't lose any of the opacity. I think for the lower lash line, I'm gonna just go in with this very short smudger brush that I have here and just line the lower lash line. And once you have this technique down and you know you're not giving a tutorial, it really does go pretty quick. We're gonna go ahead and do some eyeliner just to define the eyes, as well as sort of pull the green and the brown, I'm using brown, together, and it's going to look more like eyeshadow and less like gangrene. So the first thing I do is I come at the corner of my eye, the very outer corner, and I flick up toward the end of my brow just a little bit. And I'm going to take this about to the front of like where my lashes begin. And then I like to just do the tiniest little bit on the lower lash line. And then to smudge that liner out, I really like to use a soft, sort of more flimsy angle brush, and I just like to first kind of take the very tip and flick it out on that little outer bit that we did, just a very soft kind of wing. And then I take the brush and flip it over, and as I'm working toward the inner part of the eye, I'm just smudging along the upper lash line, and then I'm going to use the same liner brush on the lower lash line. I'm going to go ahead and pop off of here and apply some mascara. I'm also going to apply a nude eyeliner to the lower inner rim and a lip and do something about the hair, and then we'll come back and wrap this look up in a neat little bow. All right, we're back, and this is the completed look. This is the one shadow all matte look, and I really like how this came out. For the lips, I lined my lips with my ColourPop BFF2 Lippy Pencil. Then I went in with the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Crayon in the shade Lead the Way. And then I topped that off with a little bit of gloss. This is the Rimmel Stay Glossy in the shade Blushing Belgraves. I hope you guys enjoyed this look as much as I did, and stay tuned because we're getting into the third look right now. Hi guys, and welcome to the third one shadow look. Today we're going to be focusing on potted cream shadows. The one I'm going to use today is the Maybelline Color Tattoo in the shade Socialite. It is a beautiful rose gold shade, but as an extension of that, I wanted to show you how just a tiny bit of contouring the eyes can really make the difference in a one shadow look. I did prep my lids with the MAC Paint Pot and Painterly very, very lightly. And then I went in with this bronzer from Pixie by Petra. It is their beauty bronzer in the shade Subtly Sun Touched. And this one has a really nice rosy undertone to it, and it's pretty light. So I did go ahead and run this through the crease as well as a little bit on the lower lash line, and now we're up to the cream eyeshadow. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this little flat eyeshadow brush here and pick up the product, and I'm going to start on the outer part of the lid to start and work my way in, and that is just mostly a texture thing for my eyelids. I find that if I start the product all the way on the inner corner, I tend to have a little bit more texture showing through. I just like to apply this a little bit at a time. This particular cream eyeshadow is very buildable, so you can work in small, thinner layers and you're going to have a better result. And I work that all the way in to the very inner corner, looks like so. And now I'm going to go back and build it up a little bit. And then now that I have all the pigment that I want on the lid, I'm going to work my way back out with the brush with no additional product. I'm just kind of smoothing things over as much as possible. Before that sets down too much, I'm going to take this little tiny duo fiber brush here and just buff the edges in the crease. I'm not trying to carry this up into the crease at all or anything like that as I did in some of the other looks. I do think I'm going to take this tiny little brush here that I like to use on my inner corner and pick up just a little bit of the product, and I am going to place it here on the inner corner. And I'm going to do this as quickly as possible because I don't want this to set down before I get in there with the old phalange and diffuse it. But you can see there, even though it's the same color, it has a different effect to the eye. And that's one thing I would really encourage you to do in terms of cream shadows, is to play with them in that way. Lots of cream shadows have a different effect on the skin depending on whether you buff them out, whether you apply them with a finger or a flat brush. Now this is the final look as is, but I personally do want to show you how it goes when I add just a little bit more of the bronzer. And I just want to kind of stamp this on the outer corner of the eye, and then I'm going to blend it up into the crease a little bit. But when you have a smaller or more dense brush, you're going to get a more concentrated amount of pigment. And so again, even though we're only using these two products, it's going to look like we used multiple products because of the different ways that we're using our brushes, the different types of brushes, and things like that. And then just to make sure everything is nice and diffused, I'm going back in with this fluffy blending brush. So what I'm going to do right now is pop it off of here, do a little bit of liner and mascara and a lip. The hair is going to be better when we come back, and we will wrap up the video in a neat little bow. Alright, we're back, and this is the completed look. I finished off the eyes with my Wet n Wild brown eyeliner and my L'Oreal Bambi Eye mascara. I'm still really loving how this looks on the lashes. And for lips, I lined, surprise, surprise, with my Holy Grail MAC lip liner in Whirl, and topped it off with a little bit of the Fenty Gloss Bomb in the shade Sweet Mouth, which is pink, as you can see. And I really like how this look came out. I love this shadow. This is definitely a go-to for me when I'm in a hurry. I don't always put bronzer in the crease, but I wanted to show you the option of doing so. And I hope you enjoyed today's look. Stay tuned for the last one. Hi guys, and welcome to the last look. Today we're going to be doing an all shimmer one shadow look. And I really like to do this technique specifically with any kind of duochrome eyeshadow, and I immediately thought of this color in this palette, and it is from the ABH and Jackie Aina palette, and you know what shade I'm talking about. It's sponsored. I have a very flat eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna pick this up. You guys have seen this technique from me quite a few times, I would have to assume by now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this all over the lid, and then I'm going to blend it up into my crease. And the reason I like this shade specifically is because the base is neutral, and so it's going to blend out, allegedly, into a really nice neutral brown in the crease and transition area. And then we're going to build this up on the lid in terms of the shine factor, and it's just going to be beautiful. So this is kind of what I've done. I'm going to make sure that I have it all the way up to the crease here, and then we're gonna blend. Alright, so I'm first gonna go in with more of a pointed blending brush or crease brush, and we're just very gently going to be building this up in the crease, or blending this up in the crease rather. And you're gonna see immediately that this starts looking like a completely different color than what is on my lid, and that's what I love about using a duochrome for this technique. Doing it this way versus like going in with a soft, blendy, fluffy brush and actually picking the product up into your crease. The problem with that technique is that it can create a lot of fallout, whereas this, because I have no product on this brush, I'm just moving the product with this brush, it works better and I end up with no fallout. I've never had fallout with this technique. Now, possibly if you were using a more crumbly or flaky duochrome for this, that might work differently. So you can see that I'm just kind of trying to create the shape of the eye look that I want by moving this up into the crease. And then next you can go in with a little bit of a fluffier brush. Now I kind of like to have this pinched fluffy brush style because I still can get those blending qualities, but because it's pinched, I'm not going to take things up too far. If I went in with a much bigger, fluffier brush like this, that means, you know, it's almost a certainty the shadow is going to move up into my eyebrows. So that's why I like a pinched fluffy brush, but whatever you have in terms of blending brushes will work. You'll just have to be a little bit more conscious of the placement. And you absolutely, if you need more color into the crease to bring up, you can absolutely add more color at any point that you feel like. I would just repeat this exact process where you add the color to the lid and then blend it upward. Now, whatever you're comfortable with on the lower lash line is totally fine. I'm going to go back to my flat eyeshadow brush that I applied everything to the lid, and I'm going to pick it up like like so, like straight up and down just to the tip of the brush. I'm going to start this on the outer part of the lower lash line, and then I'm going to blend inward. And I just like this flat shadow brush because I can come in straight, but also it's just soft and it feels nice on my lower lash line. Last but not least, we're going to pick up more shadow and take whatever setting spray or water or whatever you have, and I'm going to spray this. And I'm going to start this on the eye here about the midpoint. I want to leave the outer part of the lid looking a little blended, a little more of the base pigment versus the inner part of the eye. And that's going to again give that illusion of, you know, depth and darkness and light. So kind of see there. That is stunning. And I just wanted to quickly show you how I'm going to finish off the look. So this is the Pixie by Petra Eye Bright Liner in the shade Nude. And I'm just going to not only take this on the lower inner rim, but I'm kind of going to wrap this around the tear duct just for a brightening situation. This is not shimmery, it is matte, but it will brighten that up. And since I've gone with such, you know, kind of a deeper shade, I want to brighten things up on the inner part of the eye. I'm going to apply some of the L'Oreal Bambi Eye Mascara, apply a lip, do something with the hair, and then we will come back and wrap up this whole little video in a neat little bow. Alright, we are back and soup's glowy today. I get so funny because my Holy Grail lip liner from MAC is in the shade Whirl, but I never wear the lipstick. So today I pulled it out and I added that. And then on top, just to lighten it up and gloss it up a little bit, is the Rimmel Stay Glossy in the shade Blushing Belgraves. Super comfortable as well. And this is the completed look. I think it's really beautiful. You absolutely could add a bronzer in your crease. You could add a highlighter in your inner corner. You can use any of these techniques or types of products and manipulate them to make them fit into your routine, which is why I brought them all to you today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I really enjoyed creating these looks for you, stretching my thinking, and just looking at some different products than what I would normally bring to you for a one shadow look. Let me know down below which was your favorite, or maybe something that you learned. I would love to hear that, and it helps me to create future content for you guys. And if you did love this video, please give it a thumbs up for me. It really helps me out here on the platform so we can all make new friends down in the comments. And with all of that said, I hope you're staying safe and well and sensible, and I hope all of your makeup days are absolutely stunning one shadow eyeshadow look days. What? I hope all your makeup days are beautiful makeup days, and I will see you in my next video real soon.